Okay, we're back and we're only going to spend a little bit of time on this because we don't have a lot of time. So we just finished lesson 3 and we were talking about the solution sets. So now we're going to talk about graphing the equations in standard form. So the cool thing about us is that we are allowed to use Desmos on our quizzes and tests. The only restriction for you is you're going to have to make sure that you leave that graph up for me. And because I enable you to use the graph from your graphing calculator, all that means is that you just have to understand what goes into that calculator. Everybody okay with that? Okay. So today you're going to be able to graph linear equations in standard form. And it says, why is it useful to use equivalent forms of linear equations? And how do I convert linear equations from one to another? You already know how to convert linear equations from one to another. We're really going to be focusing on why is it useful for certain forms for us to use. Okay. So Carlos and Clarita, they're still trying to do their thing, are comparing strategies for writing equations of the boundaries of lines of the pet sitter's constraint. They're discussing their work for the space constraint. So we already have that done because we did it in the last lesson, right? And it looks like this. It's these two equations here. Let me get rid of some of these extra dudes. Okay, it's these two here. The green one talks about their money constraint, while the red one talks about their space constraint. So it says cat pens require 6 feet. We already know this. Carlos method. I made a table. I don't have any cats. Then I have room for 15 dogs. If I use some space for 4 cats, then I have 14 dogs and 8 cats. I have room for 13 dogs. Wait, with 8 cats, I have room for 13 dogs. For each additional dog run that I don't buy, I can buy 4 more cat pens. For my table, I know the y-intercept is 15 and the slope is negative 1/4. Pause. Where do you see the slope being negative 1/4? Where do you see that? Where do you see that?
So
Go ahead.
slope is y over x. So it must, and looking at the graph, I'm pretty sure it is just x. I mean, y is going down 1 while x is going down 4.
Yes. So it's the red. It's that red line. And it's going down 1, right 4. Everyone's okay with that? Down 1, right 4. I can't annotate. I don't know how to annotate on top of this guy. I could take a picture. I know how to do this. Hold on. I just figured it out. All right, here we go. Here's your 1/4. Ready? It's down 1. Ooh, let's go. I don't know, brighter. It's down 1, right 4. Everybody see that? There's your slope. Down 1, right 4. So that's that slope that they are talking about. Everybody comfortable with that? Good. Swipe that. All right. And then plus 15. Where do you see that 15? Anybody see that 15 for that same red equation? Where do you see that 15?
The 15, well, it's in y equals mx plus b form, so the 15 must be the y-intercept.
Yep. So that is where? Where's my picture? Where did my picture just go? Did I lose it? I guess
Photos.
I didn't save it.
They went to photos.
Okay, that's all right. So the last little part, Clarita says, I let X represent the number of cats and Y represent the number of dogs. Since cat pens requires 6 feet, 6X represents the space used by the cat. And since dog runs represent 24, then 24Y represents the amount of space used by dogs. So here's her equation. Since both equations represent the same information, they must be equivalent to each other. Show the steps that you could use to turn Clarita's equation into Carlos's equation. So they want you to take this, and this is where we're going to pause. Take this equation and turn it into this one. So these two, here's what I'm proposing. These two equations are the same. But Miss Johnson, they don't look the same. I know. This is like the $20 bill. Sorry, I should point like this. Sorry. This is like the $20 bill. And this is like 2 tens. Okay, so your job is to rewrite Clarita's equation into Carlos's. Ideas for that? Well, y is by itself here. So how could you solve for y?